Alright, everyone. These latest images taken of our galactic center. This does not look like a supermassive black hole in my mind. But I want to talk about this solar symbol at Uxmal. This ship of heaven, this cosmic mountain of God. The equation of the Egyptian Seb with the Greek Chronos is not an arbitrary association. Expert Egyptologists and Assyriologists have known for over 100 years that Seb, Ripa, Kaiwan, Chion, Kronos, and Saturn are all names of the same deity. So I got this book. I won it in an auction, and it was published in 1863. It talks about the cow of Isis. Shows us the winged disc. Talks about Heliopolis, the city of the sun, stood on a mound. The city of the sun seems to be connected with On and Heliopolis. And this is the original. It was the emblem of the god Seth, who at that time would seem to be a deity of high repute, but being afterwards identified with Typhon, the spirit of evil, he was effaced from the monuments and became an object of horror. Typhon, the winged disc gone mad. This division of time may have given rise to the fable of Saturn being the progenitor of Osiris, and at once the father and the youngest of the gods. But I tell you, it is no fable. It's talking about the goose of the Nile, this bird itself, the god Saturn, birds in general. I just see talk of the winged disc being Saturn. It was dedicated to Hathor, the Egyptian Venus, whose face, repeated on the capitals of the pillars, was said to look down on her votaries with a peculiar sweetness and majesty. Hathor. The goddess is depicted with the horns and ears of a cow, her significant emblem, and as perhaps but another form of Isis, was celebrated as the mystic marriage of Isis and Osiris. I tell you, this is the mystic marriage of Isis and Osiris, when Venus was the queen of heaven. The image with which he was most familiar was Nevis, the sacred bull of Heliopolis, and after its likeness, probably the golden calf was fashioned. Absolutely. This memory of the golden calf, the Saturn god. His temple was at On, called Heliopolis, or the city of the sun, and his name was Ra. In the hieroglyphics, his symbol is the sun's disk. The bull was a sacred animal. Other names like Baal, Malak, and Adonai, names of the sun in other languages. Horus, the asp, and the winged sun. The standard of Ramses the Great displayed a bull with the image of the goddess. Hathor, a daughter of Ra, called the Eye of the Sun, whose symbol was the white cow. She is ordinarily represented with the cow's horns wearing a disc between them. Also called the Mount of Assembly, the gathering place of the gods. El, the bull. I am all that was and is to be. No mortal has lifted up my veil, and the fruit which I brought forth is the sun. One of her titles is the great cow, parent of the sun. She is also called Muth, the universal mother and queen of heaven. Athene, the patron goddess of Athens. The owl, her favorite bird, is also found upon the coinage of the Delta. Because these owl eyes are of electromagnetic origin, just like Minerva and her owl. It's different aspects that this thing took on. Seb, the Greek Kronos or Saturn, is by some considered the same as Sebek. He was called both the youngest of the divinities and the father of the gods. Of the first class were the sacred bulls of Memphis, Heliopolis, and Basis. At the former place, a magnificent hall with a court surrounded by pillars was appropriated to the bull, which was believed to contain the soul of Osiris. The priests and people kept a general mourning for the absence of the great god. This great god. Mao or Mui, a son of Ra, signifying light. His emblem is the ostrich feather. He is sometimes found with a bull's head and hands uplifted in prayer or benediction. Hathor, a daughter of Ra, called the Eye of the Sun, whose symbol was the white cow. She is ordinarily represented with the cow's horns wearing a disc between them. This did not prevent the Greeks from identifying her with Aphrodite or Venus. A son of Ra, hawk-headed like his father. His color is red, like the sun's. His titles designate him as the Ares, or Mars, of the Egyptians. Did they just say his color is red? In association with Mars. In the Huichol, native language of Mexico, the word Niriaca means doorway to God. Niriaca prayer bowls and prayer mats represent the front and back shields that the gods hold. Through prayer and meditation, humans access the gods through the portal at the center, also called the God's Eye. Thanks for watching. Have a good night, guys.